What's up, everybody? Welcome to the TYCAST, and I'm freaking a snap camera, so we're just going straight to everyone. Welcome to the TYCAST. It is Thursday. Ever since I've done the pre-show, my camera does not work on that scene, and I keep forgetting about it. But welcome to the TYCAST. It's Thursday, March 3rd. We had a week off last week, and I think we're gonna have a week off next week. So we may be going bi-weekly, or whatever the opposite of bi-weekly is. If bi-weekly is twice a week, we're going every other week. So welcome to the TYCAST, Thursday, March 3rd. Welcome to my guests. It feels like it's been a month and a half since we've done an episode, so we're gonna have a blast tonight. We have a lot to get to, and I'm gonna start with introducing everyone. Oh, before I introduce everyone, we have the Video Game Book Club. It is right now it is A Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda. That was nominated by Sally, Retro Arcade Party. That was what was voted to be the game that we all play. So we have, I don't know, probably about 20 of us playing, or have played it and are ready to chat about it. And so yeah, we're all playing through it, and we have 2 weeks left. So in 2 weeks, it's actually on St. Patrick's Day is the episode, and which I feel like is kind of appropriate. The Legend of Zelda on St. Patrick's Day, Thursday, the 17th? Yeah, the 17th. So we'll be doing that. I'll be announcing the nominations for the next Video Game Book Club next week. So be sure to keep up with everything online for that, and we'll update. I'll be posting everywhere. All right, to the panelists. Chris Donick, thank you for joining us again. This is your second episode. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, doing great, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for the raid, by the way. Before the stream, or like during the pre-show, you were playing appropriately Dark Souls 3 on stream before we started. So how was that?
Yeah, well, I'm still fighting the last boss of that game. It's been a 60-hour journey so far, and it's perhaps going to be a 60 more hour journey at this rate.
just to be him.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What have you been playing other than Dark Souls 3, and I assume Elden Ring? I actually saw you stream Elden Ring like the night before it came out, because you come from the future out in Australia.
Right, yes. I'm based in Australia, so I'm technically from the future. So future's fine over here, guys.
The relative future.
Come on in. Water's fine. I've definitely been playing a lot of Elden Ring, maybe about 30 hours so far. I've running simultaneous builds, one on the Xbox, one on the PC. Lots of multiplayer, lots of single player. Loving it. It's a great game.
Nice.
But that's, it's biased because I play a lot of Souls games. Played a lot of Souls 1, a lot of Souls 3. Didn't play a lot of Souls 2, but that's for another discussion.
Sure.
Of course, Link to the Past as well. Played a lot of that before Elden Ring came out, and then now I've pushed Link to the Past aside for a moment, and I've just been enjoying most of Elden Ring.
Nice. Are you going to try to, I know we were talking about, are you going to try to finish it in the next 2 weeks? A Link to the Past?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to make my attempts to finish it, of course, to the best of my ability. I want to finish so many video games.
It was like 16 hours, I think we determined. Is that what the average run-through was? I think.
Yeah, about.
Nice.
I won't get too much into Link to the Past, since that's for a topic that we'll be, we'll be talking about it in the next podcast.
On the 17th. That's the Link to the Past episode. Well, thank you for being here. Did you pick anything else up besides Elden Ring on multiple platforms recently?
I caught wind of your channel Wordle. The Wordle channel in your Discord server. And yeah, daily I've been jumping onto Wordle, so that's technically a game. It's like a
It is. It
puzzle.
is. That is a good point. We've
Um,
that channel's been very active over the last 2 weeks of everyone dumping in their Wordle. So right now it's Wordle. Oh, thank you, Nettie. Did that work?
No.
I don't think she has access to.
All right, let me
I
do
think you
this
have to
real
edit
quick.
it on Elements.
There we go. Okay. Oh, it's
Oh,
yeah, it's a stream elements.
game
I
world.
haven't. Yeah. So we've been doing Wordle. We've been doing Quordle, which is like a simultaneous 4 Wordle game, which is very, very frustrating. And then I haven't been doing, but a bunch of people have been doing Squirtle, which is you guess Pokemon, because I don't know any Pokemon.
Oh, I need to be on that one.
You would.
Where do I play that? How do I download it?
No, it's web based. If you on the Discord in the Wordle channel, everyone's posting all the different Wordles, but there's the Squirtle one, and then I am obsessed with Worldle with an L before the D because it's geographic. It shows you a picture of a country, and then you have to guess what country it is. And if you miss it, it tells you what direction you're off and how many. I think it's in kilometers you're off from that correct one. But I've played 4 days now, and 3 of them I've gotten first guess, and so I'm like, challenge me, come at me. Although Chris, you have played the one that I have not been able to play yet, and so now I'm curious.
It is unfair, but well, we'll see. My geography's not that well, so I'd like to see you give it an attempt.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it tonight. I'll post it on my Twitter and see if I get it. I don't know. Maybe I won't if it's horrible. But yeah. So we've been playing that a lot in Discord. That's very fun. Russ at Cryoweasel, how's it going, man? Good to have you as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. What have you been playing? What have you been? Did you pick anything up?
I've been trying to chip away at Zelda. I don't like Zelda games that much. I'm trying to make this the first one I actually beat. I'm not that far into it though, so I hopefully will have time. But I've mostly been spending my time with Elden Ring. I am not a Souls fan either. This is the first one I've actually enjoyed, and I've not felt like was just so hard it wasn't fun. I'm like 5 bosses in. I think only 2 of them were main bosses, but I've been enjoying it.
Nice. Do you pick anything else up besides Elden Ring?
Nope, that was it.
Oh. I feel like we all have to establish. You've been playing Wordle too.
Oh, yep, and Squirtle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You are dominant on the Squirtle. I don't know anything past Gen 1, so I'm a lost cause with Squirtle. I could just put in gibberish, and I wouldn't. Yeah, that's that. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do Squirtle.
They're definitely hard.
Yeah, I see you guys struggling. I'm like, no way. I'm not. There's no chance for me. Keezus at Keezus _. How you been, man? How you doing?
Good.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, good.
For sure. What have you been playing? And I know you've been playing Elden Ring. We've discussed that. What else? Or actually, before we get into it, describe your experience with Elden Ring so far.
Let me tell you.
Give it to me.
I have no idea where the hell I'm supposed to be going in that game.
No, don't tell me that.
I've been around. I've been killing things. I've been killing, I guess, world bosses. But I still don't know where I'm supposed to go. Everyone's been fighting this person named Margaret or Margit or whatever. And I still have no idea where they're at. So I don't even know how far I'm in the game. I got at least like 7 hours and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. But you know, I'm leveling up, killing things. It's not fun for me.
Yeah.
But like I'm addicted to finding loot and killing things, so that's why I'm still going.
For sure.
But I honestly like, you know, I'll get into it later.
Yeah. No, for
game.
sure. What else? I know you play Pokemon Unite. What else you been playing lately?
It's literally just
That's
been
it?
A Link to the Past, Elden Ring, and
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
Unite on
Yeah.
rotation.
For sure. How far are you into
That's
Link to the Past?
I would say over halfway. I've done 2 dungeons in the Dark World,
Okay.
so I don't know how much longer I have, but
Sure. Nice. You pick anything else up?
no. Oh, my Arceus plush finally arrived like a month and a half later.
the pre-order one?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's so late.
Well, I thought it was like fully canceled, so I was bummed for you.
They sent a follow-up email saying, "Oh no, disregard the cancellation email. It's still on the way."
Okay, good. That's good.
Don't know when, but it's still on the way.
That's so funny.
Congratulations on the reception of your plush.
Thank you.
Nettie at Nettie Dorco. How you been?
Hello.
I know it's been
I've been good.
it's been busy for you. I know.
I know. I mean, I'm back to being a potato, so that's
Yeah,
good, right?
welcome
we
back
got
to-
invited to. I know. Welcome back to the gaming world,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, my husband and I were invited to like 8 out of 8 weddings. So it's just kind of like, okay, we survived the 8th wedding, so we're done, and I'm just back to gaming. Anyway, what I've been playing? I've been playing Hollow Knight because I still haven't beat it, just because I've been so busy. A lot of Valorant competitive. I'm trying to get out of Iron. I don't know when I'm gonna get out of Iron, but that's my goal this season. And I've also been playing Getting Over It, and I think
yeah.
I'm like halfway-ish in getting over it. But you know, you're halfway in the beginning of the stream. You're halfway, but you end up in the very beginning of the game, and then I reach back halfway, and then same cycle. So.
I mean, I've seen you play briefly of Getting Over It, and it feels a lot like not Hollow Knight, Jump King.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did not have fun with Jump King. Is it more or less frustrating than Jump King?
It's more frustrating, I think, by the fact that like it just kind of depends on your mouse's DPI settings, and
wow.
like my forearms start to hurt after a while because it has to be like the certain movement and pattern that you have to get used to. Versus Jump King, you count like 1 second and you know it jumps like that far, and then you count like 4 seconds and you know it jumps all the way to the, you know, just by distance. But Getting Over It's all skill and forearm, and it's like my workout.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you pick anything up while you were traveling?
No. It's funny because like I was gonna meet up with my tattoo artist because I got my tattoo in LA.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Vegas too. You know, my wife and I are gonna be there." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, we can meet up." And I swear I like woke up in Vegas, and then like I blinked, and then all of a sudden I'm like back in like the Bay. So I have no idea what happened in Vegas.
I mean that feels like a pretty typical Vegas story.
Right?
At least in my experience. I wake up in Vegas and then I'm back home. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. I didn't have the time to game hunt or anything.
For sure. Well, thanks for being on this week. It's good to have you now that you're back into the realm.
Gaming world. Yay! I'm back to being a potato.
Yeah. Brittany at Skrillerwolf. Welcome back
Hello.
to you as well. What have you been up to? Sigh.
Yeah.
That was a big sigh.
Yeah. I won't go into it. There's too much, but I will talk about my pickups.
Okay.
But I'm doing okay. I've still been playing Outer Worlds.
Oh
I
yeah.
got Shovel Knight amiibo,
Nice.
Castlevania pins.
Cool.
I got another copy of Nintendogs, Neopets.
Essential.
Wait, another copy of
Essential.
Nintendogs. I love that.
So I have an idea for a video. I want to buy all of the Nintendogs that I don't have, and then record like other people's profiles and be like, so clearly like they like this dog or something like that, because I think it'd be kind of a neat idea. So
That's awesome.
I don't know. My brain is like fried from my new job.
Oh,
These
for
are
sure.
Last of Us promo pins or promo items from Europe. these are cool. This was actually Nintendo's like first amiibo type thing, but these are NFC Pokemon figures for Pokemon Rumble World on Wii U. This is a employee Heavenly Sword notebook. I went to a game swap meet, so I picked up a bunch of very random things. Our friend who was on our stream sent me a bunch of Japanese Pokemon
Ooh.
plushies.
Cool.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I think the coolest is Heracross because I don't
Oh, yeah.
see very many plushies or anything of Heracross.
That's rad.
And then-
One of
That's
my
awesome.
favorite ones.
And he's like a little baby.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I picked up a bunch of stuff. Been playing Outer Worlds, still playing Outer Worlds, hoping to stop playing Outer Wilds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Got
Definitely have not played the first one.
Yeah, because they came out like around the same time. I was like,
They did. I think that's the reason why Outer Wilds hasn't caught on, or hasn't quite caught on that much. Because I think it is really, really good.
I've heard, like, I remember it being a lot of Game of the Year discussions. What, it was like 2 years ago when it first came out?
I think it did win some awards. I forget. I think when it came out, something else definitely beat it, but I don't think it got the traction needed to like win Game of the Year because there's so many people I know that like they've heard about it, but they've never played it. It's not like Undertale where almost everybody has heard about it and played it.
Yeah, I think it definitely got pushed under the radar with because Outer Worlds was such a big release, and I know initially there was like a lot of like disappointment with it. And then they kind of like came back around to it, and then like it was. I think it was
one of the first big games to come to Game Pass too.
I think you're right.
Like it was like day one Game Pass. I remember that's why my friend he played it like day one, and he's like, "Yo, you know Outer Worlds?" He's like, "It just came out. It's coming day one on Game Pass as well." I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah. And so, I've been wanting to play Outer Wilds. I've been trying to catch your stream, but I don't want to spoil. I know some spoilers, and I don't want to know any more. So I've been lurking your Outer Wilds streams until I get to play it. Thank you for being here. So yeah, we're episode 43 of the TYCAST. It's good to be here. We my live counter is all off because I didn't reset my stream, so I need to actually use my clock for this. All right. Oh, I didn't even talk about me. Who cares about me? I actually forgot to bring this over. Hold on. I only bought one thing. Sorry, I only bought one thing recently. I bought it while I was live on stream, and it is. I don't have it all put together, but it's a Virtual Boy, and so I don't know where I put the controller for it. I have the stand for it, but the little mount is broken, so I have to buy that, and then I don't have a power supply of any sort. So I haven't tested it yet. We'll see. We'll see if it actually works. And I don't have any games for it, so I realized that initial investment is probably going to double really quickly to be able to play my Virtual Boy, but. That was my one pickup. I've been playing Cuphead with Sally on stream weekly, Retro Arcade Party. I've been playing Halo, and I've been playing Link to the Past on stream. And so I'm still into Halo. I know there's a lot of attention with not a whole lot happening with Halo Infinite, but I'm still addicted to it. I'm still playing it, and it's still my jam right now for first-person shooters. I am holding out that more is coming soon. But yeah, all right. To the topic at hand, Souls, and I forgot that Souls-like games are a thing. So with Elden Ring coming out now, Elden Ring getting, almost universal praise, I figured it would be topical to talk about what we think about these types of games. It's From Software, and they pretty much created the genre, and they dictate what it means to be a Souls game and what it doesn't mean to be a Souls game. And so I saw a lot of people playing Elden Ring when it came out, and so I was like, let's talk about it. And so thank you guys for joining. Let's go into Chris. I know you play a lot of these types of games. What would you consider like I know that Rev Arcade in the chat already gave a little rundown, but can you give us a synopsis of what it takes to be a Souls game?
Sure. So I did a little bit of research when you announced the topic of the stream, and even playing a little bit of Souls games myself. I feel like what categorizes a Souls game is a few prerequisites. It would be death being integral to the game in terms of progression. You're going to experience death no matter what in these Souls games, and that's just a part of accepting that. And when dying, there's a penalty system. So, for example, in Souls or Hollow Knight, when you die, you lose all the accumulated points that you earn. And in order to get it back, you have to physically return to that place to grab it back again. And if you die in between that journey, then you lose it all entirely. And that's just a part of being extra cautious, which would then fall into the next point of the game, which is a very tight combat system where precise maneuvering is very much required in terms of rolling, blocking, and timing your attacks at a certain point. It can't be button mashing. You can't just button mash your way through mobs or through the boss. It has to be this very tight, controlled maneuvering. Also, checkpointing system is very important. If they were too generous with checkpointing, it kind of ruin the whole point of a Souls game being difficult. So they have to kind of sparse their checkpointing system fairly far away from what a regular game would be accustomed to giving you. So in terms of a game where you're journeying through a long distance and you're going through different mobs and different enemies, you want to kind of be starved of that checkpoint to make it more rewarding once you reach it.
Sure.
And that would also make death even worse for when you're just about to reach it and you have to go through all that again. I think that mostly covers it. So there's the whole combat, there's checkpointing, there's death penalty.
I think
I think
the hack and slash part of it is like it's usually. Did you say that? I thought I read that when I was looking it up too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hack and slash, but in terms of more precise maneuvering in combat.
Yeah. It's not like a Bayonetta or what's the other one?
Devil May
Cry. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Brittany would jump in.
I was like, Mere Cryo's got to say it.
So what's everyone's? So jump in. We're not going in any order. What's everyone's experiences with Souls games or Souls-like games? Just anyone who wants to hop in, go for it.
I have really wanted to get into them like forever now, especially when Bloodborne came out. Cthulhu and like the Lovecraft mythos are something that's like super interesting to me. So I thought I'd really like Bloodborne, and then it just destroyed me, and then I gave up. I think I have tried every single Demon Souls game from Software, and I've hated like every one of them. But now that I've started Elden Ring, and I think it's like kind of clicking with me of how to play them, I want to go back to the other games. I've been having a lot of fun with Bloodborne. Oh my god, Elden Ring.
Bloodborne.
With Elden Ring, I think what makes it a little easier is if you get stuck on a boss, you can just go somewhere else. You don't have to stay in that area since it's all open. But like Bloodborne, it's a very linear route, and you have to kill like a specific boss to move ahead. And you don't really have to do that in Elden Ring. I mean, you do it at some point, but it's not so linear where if you're stuck on a boss, you don't have to just power your way through that one.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I think through my experiences, I kind of journeyed into some Dark Souls games before streaming. And before I was doing streaming stuff, I would reach a certain point, maybe early on in the game before I stopped playing, because they make the game not only difficult, but also very opaque in how to get to the next area. It's so obscure in what to do next, and they don't really handhold you in any way whatsoever on what to do.
That's my
but-
that's my nightmare in gaming. My nightmare.
Yeah. I had experienced that a lot with Hollow Knight, and we talked about that a ton
Yeah.
in your last podcast. But I feel like what makes these games interesting is a community aspect. Even if they're primarily single player, there does require a degree of communication with other people that have experienced the game with you. Or even to a lesser extent, just reading through a guide. Without it, I don't think anyone could just go through the game. So it kind of encourages kind of a dialogue with other people, just to say, oh, I don't know what's going on here. And other people can say, well, I found this thing over here, and that could help you out with that. So it's not directly a feature of the game, but it's a byproduct of it, I guess.
Yeah, like an indirect social aspect of the game that's not directly built into it. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I mean, even though there is like the whole co-op, I know there's like some weirdness with the co-op with most or some or the games, the Souls games that do offer it, that it's kind of different and weird game to game. But we'll get into that later. Jesus, what's your experience with Souls games?
I mean, I've played Bloodborne the first hour, got to a gate. Apparently, I was nowhere near the first boss. Quit, got rid of the game, returned it.
Oh, Sham.
Neo was released for free on PlayStation. Got it. Beat the first boss. I was like, this took way too long. Returned it, even though I can't return it. I still returned it somehow. I was like, nope, delete, get off my console. Sekiro I played a little of, but it was on someone else's console, so I didn't really own it. And then I never touched the ones before Bloodborne because I knew it wasn't for me.
But you started Elden Ring.
I did. So Elden Ring, it's a very different experience in its own because it's open world.
Sure.
I have so much freedom to do a lot of things. Like for every YouTuber who has released a how to be OP very early video, thank you. For every YouTuber that's been like how to do a certain build for this character, thank you. So yeah, I just been running around grinding up because first and foremost, this game is like, here, go to these lost grave sites or whatever, the grace sites or soul sites, whatever, and they'll direct you where to go. No, come to find out, they only direct you to a general area of another grace site. And I was like, so I still don't know where I'm going, but at least I'm getting OP and killing everything. So, you know, that's the only thing keeping me going.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's better than it could be, where you're just getting, because what I see mostly is people just like wandering out and then just getting absolutely slaughtered and then
Oh, it still happens.
Okay.
It still happens. I'll be wandering out and a dragon that I've never seen before will fly from the sky and then slaughter me. And I don't know what I'm doing, but
yeah, I'm still on the fence with Elden Ring.
I stay on the fence. I honestly, if you will not enjoy the first hour of that game.
Oh man,
I mean, you won't enjoy all 60 plus hours.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if I don't enjoy the first hour, there's no way I'm making it to anywhere near it more than that. Also, Keezus, I love our purple theme we got going on this right column right now.
Oh,
it's nice. We got the purple corner over here. Nettie, what about you? What's your I initially, sorry to interrupt right after I ask you a question. I initially posed this as like Souls games, but if I invited everyone, and you jumped in right as soon as I said Souls games, but I invited everyone to talk about like if you didn't play Souls games, if you just like hard games, and Nettie, I know you like hard games, and so I don't know your experience with Souls games, so I'm curious with that. But if anyone wants to talk about just like really, really, really hard games too, because that's one of the like inferred characteristics of Souls games. Feel free to do that. Now that I think about it, but Nettie, what's your experience with Souls games?
Well, I think a lot of you guys know that I like very difficult games.
Yes.
But I play a lot of platformers. And with me streaming all these difficult games, I feel like a lot of people have told me like, hey, you should start Dark Souls. Hey, you should start like all these Souls-like games. And I've never had any experience with Souls-like games, so I had no idea what I was like in for. So the first one I ever tried was Dark Souls, but it was off stream. And I remember like playing 10 minutes of it and I had no idea what I was doing, but I just kept dying with like one hit to the face. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I looked it up on YouTube and I was like, oh, there's like a hidden freaking door behind this boss. And I'm like, okay, so I had zero experience. I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna uninstall this. I don't have the patience for it right now. But Neo went on sale on Steam for like, I think it was like $9.99. And then I saw that there was like a little multiplayer co-op option. And initially I was going to play this with Kat plays, but she got motion sickness from it. So then I asked Rolly to play, my husband, to play with me. And he was like, okay, like it looks pretty cool. And like what you mentioned like a few minutes ago, like for you to get a player number 2 in a Souls-like game is like, it's a whole nother process. Like you have to like summon them through a shrine and it has to be in this specific world for this specific level. And I'm like, I thought this was multiplayer. This isn't multiplayer. Multiplayer is press start and then you play the whole game, right? Like
Second
no.
player pushes start.
You have to summon them. You have to invite them to the world. Oh my god. But anyway, we figured out a way to just like play the entire game together. And it's just kind of just before entering into the world, just join the gate together in Neo. And so that's what Rolly and I have been playing, but it takes a lot of practice to understand how to play a Souls-like game, because when, like the first boss, it wasn't too bad, but like I think when I got to like the second boss in Neo, and then we went into the ship, there was like this huge demon thing that threw like a whole bunch of like kettlebells. And it took me literally like 1.5 hours just to kill that boss. And I like, my NVIDIA thing like did the little, oh, recorded death. Oh, recorded death. And I'm like, when is it going to ever record? Oh, recorded win. But yeah, it took me 1.5 hours to just beat that second boss in Neo. And it's just like, it's enjoyable if you really enjoy the art aspect of it. But, it takes a lot of practice to understand what the heck you're doing.
Jesus, I have to call out your comment. Souls together, rolls together. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It seems like Neo was Neo developed by From Software? Or
No.
So it would be like a Souls
clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've heard of Sekiro too, and I think they kind of
Sekiro is from Software.
So
Yes.
yeah, Sekiro is From Software, but they like whoever their president or whatever said it's not a Souls game, like explicitly, because they don't want it to be. They want it to be separate from.
It's not a Souls game.
I know, but it seems like there's a big debate about it.
Sure it is.
So, yeah, Neo, but it seems like Neo was an entry point for a couple people. I don't think I had a PlayStation at that point whenever it was on the like PS Plus or whatever. But
Neo, I believe, was a timed PlayStation exclusive, or maybe the beta was a timed PlayStation exclusive, because that's how I remember playing it, because I was really into like just strictly PlayStation exclusives at the time. So that's why I played it and I was like, this is too hard.
I have like 36 hours in it now, and I wouldn't play it by myself. Like I always have to ask Rolly to play it.
I was about to say, the fact that you got Rolly to play with you is like, I'm like, damn, that's really goals right there.
He like, yeah, I think it's because it's all like Japanese type of style, and he enjoys that type of art style altogether. And it's hard. Like he's really, really picky. He likes like specific games, but I mean, I know Valheim isn't considered as Souls-like, but I felt like when I was playing it with Teasus, we just kept dying and dying over and over again. And it's like this open world type of game where you could create a house and all that stuff, right? But I felt like Valheim kind of had that same concept, but like in a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah, definitely. Valheim and Dead Cells as well is also a similar concept where it's 2D side scrolling, but also has those core components of a
Yeah.
Souls-like game. And funny that you mentioned Neo because that came out like I think around the time when Souls-like was definitely picking up steam in a more wider sense for a broader community. Because close around that release, there also was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is also considered a Souls-like game.
Oh,
And
really?
I guess
I didn't know that.
yeah,
game.
yeah, definitely. It definitely has features of a Souls-like. I would consider it definitely a Souls-like game.
It's like a Souls-like, but it's way easier.
Yeah,
It's not
without
that
yeah,
penalizing.
without the yeah.
It is not that
Reduced
penalizing.
difficulty. Yeah.
Do you have to worry about stamina in that one too, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
So I guess all of these games that I guess after like Dark Souls 1, 2, and possibly 3 releasing, that kind of and I guess also Hollow Knight to a sense released around Dark Souls 3 release, if I recall correctly. That then kind of started gaining more attention, and then games like Neo came out as an exclusive PlayStation game release. Star Wars came out, EA's published game. And I guess all that kind of snowballed into what now is Elden Ring, which is from Software. They're like, I guess they kind of started this whole, Souls-born, Souls-like genre. They've mastered the craft to a point where they've come out with something open world and Souls-like at the same time. And it's a nice game. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, that's probably what's created its success at this time.
I think
Just all these other releases.
yeah, for sure. So I think my biggest deterrent towards these types of games, and now that you said that Neo was kind of like it's like Japanese centric and stuff like that, I could get into that. I'm not a big fantasy game player in general, and so I think that whole aspect of it kind of turned me off initially. I'm just like, I'm not into like Lord of the Rings. I'm not into like a lot of fantasy stuff, and it seems like most of these games center is in that realm, which like I can get into it if I get like motivated into it, but it's not a very natural it's not something I gravitate towards naturally. And so I think that's probably the biggest reason. I don't want to get lost. I don't want to get frustrated, but I have to say, so I've been playing 100 hours of Cuphead, and so I don't mind the difficulty. And I've realized I have this I've come to this realization over the last couple of months that I actually really like difficult boss battles, and that was something I never really realized like beforehand. And so I don't mind that aspect. It's everything else, everything else that I'm like, nah, I don't want to get lost. Like Hollow Knight, I loved the action, I loved the fighting, I loved exploring. No, I didn't love exploring. I liked the boss battles, but then as soon as I beat someone, I'm like, hell yeah, you're on this high, and then it's just like get lost, like go wander for 7 hours until you find some little little literal needle in the haystack of these like mile long trenches, winding maze. That's the thing that as soon as I hit that's when I got turned off. But whatever, I don't know. I like, and that's why I struggle with open world games unless it has a freaking arrow over my head, like go do this. But who else? We went through everyone. Okay, so
Don't play Elden Ring then if you need an arrow over your head.
yeah,
I'm telling you, I've been telling you since I started, do not buy this game.
You'll get an arrow shot into your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, not into it. Brittany, what were you gonna say?
I didn't talk about my Souls experience.
Oh, you didn't? No, sorry. I didn't mean to skip you. I'm sorry.
No, no worries. There's not much of it. I mainly wanted to talk about this weird experience. So I have two experiences with Dark Souls. One is Bloodborne, which I played a collective like 4 hours of. The first time was I went to go visit my dad, and my dad was like, I'm stuck on this werewolf boss, and I beat it on the second try, and I was like, I felt like a bad bitch. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like hyped up. I'm like, all right, I can play Dark Souls. And so I went home because he's like, fuck this game. I'm tired of it. So he hands me the case. I take it home. I put it in. I beat the first boss. I get back to that same werewolf boss, and it absolutely wrecks me. So I think he powered himself up to get to the werewolf boss, but I'm like, this is not my cup of tea. So I played a collective like 4 hours of Bloodborne. I've watched a lot of it. I definitely want to go back to it. It's just way too challenging for me right now, and I don't have the time to dedicate to it. And it's one of those games where I think you have to play it relatively frequently to get better at it. So with the way I game, I'll jump into something, take a long break, come back to it, and I feel like my muscle memory wouldn't be adjusted enough to kind of keep up with it.
Absolutely.
But the more interesting experience I have is I had an uncle who was absolutely addicted to Demon Souls on PS3. And like he would wake up in the morning and he would just play it until night. He played it so much that his PS3 controller was permanently broken, as in it would keep running forward endlessly. But before that, he would rubber band his controller to keep running forward so he could swap weapons mid-combat and fight people in Demon Souls. He broke two different... Go ahead. Go ahead.
It was an intentional drift.
Yeah. He liked that controller. So he didn't break it on purpose, but ended up breaking just because of how much he played Demon Souls on it. And then he broke his second PS3 controller on Demon Souls. And this is not raging. This is just like pure playing this much Demon Souls. And then he got a PS2 controller. And so that's what he was using for it. I don't know. I think he bought an adapter or something for it. He broke the internal counter. So he wiped his progress 3 times and broke the internal clock for it, which I think only goes up to like either 9,000 hours or 999 hours for Demon Souls. Yeah, so he broke it like 3 times and would reset his progress. And I think like he only finally stopped when he got his gaming PC, because then he could finally play like the other games. But yeah, I've never seen somebody play that much Demon Souls ever. And Demon Souls is still his favorite, like of all of the Souls games. Has he
played the PS5 version?
I think he's played all of them. I don't know if he hasn't played the remake, PS5 version.
Like the remake.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten a chance to, unless it's on PC. He hasn't, because he doesn't have a PS5 yet. But I think he's played them all. It's pretty crazy because like some of my cousins have like lent him like a PS4 for like the weekend or something, and he like in the span of like a week or 2 weeks, he beat like Dark Souls, I think 2 is on PS4, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. I don't think he's gotten a Sekiro, but he played Salt and Sanctuary. I don't know if he played Hollow Knight, but basically like any Dark Souls stuff, he's just like he's all about that. But I've never seen somebody break 3 PS3 controllers just from pure usage.
I think I bought one of his PS3 controllers. I have one that's absolutely jacked up that I bought with my PS3.
Is there pieces of rubber band in it?
No, but the drift is out of control. That's the only controller that I'm like, oh, this is what drift is. Like, I didn't know the term wasn't a thing back then when I bought it. Like, my PS3 died, and I was like, I need to buy a PS3, so I bought one used, and I got a controller, and it was just like, my guy was just like, I was like, what is going on? And like.
No, that's playing on hard mode.
yeah. So.
But I tried to break in the middle of like while he was on one of his Demon Souls runs. I was like, you should borrow this RPG game I got, and he's like, okay. And I said it might be a little long, so I don't know how long it's gonna take you. I lent him Kingdoms of Amalur, and he 100%ed the game in like 48 hours.
Like real-time hours or gameplay hours?
Like gameplay hours, and
Oh,
it's
okay,
like at least it took me to 100%. I didn't even 100% the game, but it took me like 60 or 70 hours to get through the game because there's a ton of side content. I'm like, Jesus. He comes out and he goes, he hands it to me like a few days later, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty okay. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, you don't like it? And he's like, oh, I beat it. And I was like,
He said it's not a Souls game. It's okay.
yeah.
He's like,
He's like, I said, did you play it on hard or anything? He goes, yeah, I played it on hardest difficulty. He's just like, it's okay.
He said I ain't died once. It's okay. It didn't make me respawn.
Like, I think
Go ahead.
like 14-year-old me was absolutely shook. I was just like, how did you beat this so fast?
So, I'm trying to think. So I dabbled in it a little bit before I cut Brittany out from her Souls experience, which
No,
I'm
no
so
worries.
glad. Thank you for chiming in because I have a tendency to do that because I'll like sidebar and it's like, oh, okay, we're all done now.
I just figured the story about my uncle would be pretty interesting.
No, thank you for not letting me skip you. So I don't have any experience with Souls games. And probably for good. It's probably for a good reason. But I do have a newfound appreciation for difficult games, and I was talking about this with some friends, and there's a game in particular. I mean, it's been a month now that I made a video on YouTube about like I have this obsession with a game called Katana Zero, and it's not a extremely difficult game. It's not a Souls game. It's not a like anything. It's a 2D platformer, but it's the timing thing is the key. That's probably the most Souls like part of it. And so, but playing through that and the bosses and stuff like that kind of got me into. I was like, okay, I like this difficulty type of thing. And then something else. What else did I play recently? I mean, I'm playing Cuphead right now, and that's really difficult. But there's something else. What's up, Neander? There's something else that I played recently. Now I just drew a blank, and I can't remember. What's another 2D game? What's another 2D game? 2D difficult game that I played. It was a 2D game. I don't know.
You didn't do Celeste yet, right?
No, but that's high on my list because it's very similar with the quick. Well, I mean, besides Hollow Knight, I didn't like the having. So okay, with Hollow Knight, I loved the boss battles, like the what were the three
The Mantis Lords.
the Mantis Lords.
Mantis
Lords,
So I
yeah.
loved that boss battle. I hated that every freaking time I died, I had to go and fight like
bench.
40 people. Yeah, I had to go back to the bench and fight like 40 people to get back to the boss battle that I just wanted to complete. That took me. Yeah, I'm not Salt and Sanctuary. That was a nomination from Liz. That drove me absolutely nuts. If I'm gonna die on something that's hard, just let me restart it. And I know we talked about like Metroid Dread. They eliminated a lot of the Metroid-ish aspects of that with the saves by like in the really difficult points they would put you right, like all the Emmys they would put you just right outside the Emmy zone, or
Yeah.
if you like the bosses there would be a save right there, they eliminated the replaying stuff that you've already beat. Like before the Mantis Lords, I think it probably took me 12 or 15 times to beat the Mantis Lords, and I think I did it all on stream or in the Discord, and I got so frustrated just getting back there. Like the battle wasn't frustrating, but the getting back there, and so that type of stuff frustrates me. And so I want to do Celeste because I feel like the Katana Zero didn't punish you that way. It was like very like segmented, where if you like it was all the timing, and you'd have to do like 30 to 40 to 50 timinged events. And so I want to do Celeste, but I don't know. I feel like I would throw that in because I don't play a lot of Souls games. I'm he's this year like I want someone to tell me like, dude, you gotta play.
You will not
Gotta
enjoy
play
it.
Elden Ring.
You will not enjoy
Someone
it.
tell me to play
I
Elden Ring.
appreciate Keezus' realism here. He's like, no. He's like, you're gonna hate it.
No,
feel
I
like
don't want to
You
hate
might
it.
have. I
It
feel like you
takes
might have a
time.
different experience if you played multiplayer. If you had
Yeah.
a group of people and you ran together, you would have a difficult time nonetheless, but
Play
it'd
with
be at
Sally.
least a shared experience.
Gino in the chat is like, you gotta play Elden Ring. Is it only 2-player co-op, or can you group up?
So you have 2 other people play with you, so you can be 3 co-ops.
Three total?
There's also the chance for someone to invade your world. So
Have your kiddos play with you.
Yeah. in the oh, I have to say, in the pre-show, my son popped onto my Nintendo Switch. He started playing the Kirby demo, and I was like, oh, he's playing Kirby. I'm curious. Yeah,
Just go tell him, be like,
Ori,
hey,
Ori's
I got
on my
a game
list too.
for us to play. Elden Ring.
So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of crossover between like Souls-like and Metroidvania 2D stuff too, like especially with Hollow Knight and Ori, and like Rev Arcade in the chat just brought up. I don't know. Other than Neo, are there any other like non like medieval fantasy games that are in the Souls?
If you like Star Wars, I will say Jedi Fallen Order is a nice lead in to a Souls like.
I actually started that. I played about 3 hours of that, and I did not realize that was Souls like.
See, because it doesn't feel like it. Even though you die, you lose things, but you start back very close to where you were.
I do have that. So. I bought that, and I liked all the way like I got to the like whatever island. I started collecting stuff, and like I don't know. I think it was about 3 hours in, and I really liked it, and then I just completely fell off of it.
They made a good game. Like they, I can't remember the name of the developer. I'm trying to search it.
Oh, you're talking about of
Respawn.
Respawn, yeah. They do Apex and Titanfall.
Yeah, so before they just do first-person shooters, and then they decided just to go out and make a different genre game, and they pulled it off. It's a fun game.
That was an EA thing, leveraging their exclusive license and being like, Respawn, and like it seems like Respawn can just do whatever they want. Whatever they touch is gold, and EA knowing that, and that was their like flagship title, and then everything else and then they had Battlefront 2 also come out, and then I feel like that just shattered the deal with Disney, and so that's why Disney killed exclusivity with EA. but it seems like they're still continuing with Respawn games for Star Wars moving forward. It's just not like now everyone else is also able to make games for Star Wars. It seems like EA lost that leverage pretty quickly by with everything. So final comments on it. We haven't talked about like if these are, I don't know, I still feel like it's kind of like a conglomeration of things rather than a genre. It seems like it's kind of like a like, I don't know, like a
Souls like is a feeling.
yeah, exactly. Like like the fact that you can't just like, it's not like a 2D side scroller or even like a Metroidvania. Like there's like, I know there's specific pieces of it, but it's like two things. It's like 2D side scrolling, and you have to backtrack. Like that's basically Metroidvania. I feel like Souls like's like, okay, if you have this and you have this and you have this and you have this, and then you have like, and maybe this and maybe this, maybe this, like, and so like, I know I get the like weirdness of, okay, these have Souls like elements. I don't know. I
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like how a MOBA is sort of like a branch from RTS games.
it's like a little like snapshot of an RTS game. I
Yeah,
feel
you
like.
got your core genres, but then these new subgenres kind of branch out. So a Souls-like is like an RPG beat 'em up, or not beat 'em up, like a hack and
Hack and
slash.
slash, yeah.
But with these extra elements, so it just kind of stems out from the RPG hack and slash genre.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Okay, final comments. Are you a fan of Souls and or Souls like games in general? If like in a like matter of fact sort of way, like if a game came out and it's like we're a Souls game or we're a Souls like game, is that a turn on or a turn off ultimately? That's our final statement on the issue before we close out.
I hate Souls-like games.
I don't believe you.
I want
I
to
think-
throw the console out of the window and the controller and forget all about it. But there's something about it that keeps pulling me back in.
So
Jesus.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Still don't
I
believe
enjoy
you.
it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it for the social aspect of it. Like I mentioned, the byproduct of a Souls game requires for communication about it, to learn about an item that might be there that might enhance your experience, or how to get to the next level. Like even especially at this point with Elden Ring, since it's fresh and new, it's new for everybody. So when I was jumping into games like Dark Souls 3, the game is already established. People already know all about it. So when I'm going in fresh, like a normie newbie, people are like, hey, you can go here, by the way, or you can go there. But with Elden Ring, it's absolutely new that no one knows where to go. So we're all just exploring this brave new world and all getting punished by it at the same time. So yeah, I enjoy it for the social aspect. If it was entirely offline, I would not be playing these games.
Gotcha. I have a follow-up question. So continue through Russ.
I don't think I like him still. Elden Ring might change my mind. I'm gonna try to beat it, but every time I always just give up. So
Okay, actually, okay, hold on. Before we continue. So the question was like, is it a turn on or turn off with gaming if it's a Souls like? The other one was do you think that Elden Ring in particular will hold up the way that Breath of the Wild has in terms of like longevity? Like 5 years later, like I just played Breath of the Wild and discovered the magic of it because I was kind of like turned off on it initially. Not turned off on it, I was like, this is a little intimidating for me. Do you think that Elden Ring will have that sort of longevity since it's scoring about the same critically as that type of game? So that was my other part because I don't want to forget that. So both parts, Chris and Russ, answer those last that last part so I don't forget it.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, I guess I don't know numbers specifically, because I do know that on Twitch, for example, there are a core group of people that do nothing but play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Even so, there is a group of people that play Dark Souls 3. Except at this point, since it's brand new, it's got this large reach of people that are just curious, that are just jumping in. You got your hardened veterans of Souls games that are also going in there to experience it as well. Maybe in a year's time, sure, there'll be less numbers, but I think there's still going to be a larger group than ever before that are going to continue on with this community and try new things with it. I guess if that's what you mean by your question, if in 5 years people will still be playing the game, absolutely. There's most definitely going to be groups of people that are trying to get world record speedruns or trying to accomplish the game without getting hit once while defeating every boss, because that exists in these Souls games. There's
Yeah.
communities that do that have a following, whether how small or how large they will be as a result to the success of this game, I can only speculate,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
it's definitely going to be larger than what the Dark Souls 3 or any predecessor has at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. So Russ, you haven't played Breath of the Wild, right? I mean,
I
like-
played 90% of it.
oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you quit. Yeah, we
Right before
we
the
talked
boss,
about this. Yeah. Just real quick before we move on, how would you compare the longevity of the two games so far of what you've played with Elden Ring?
I would agree with what Chris said. I think it's going to have its like diehard fans that are still going to keep playing it, do challenge runs. I think there's going to be people that will just try to explore absolutely everything, and I'm sure that's going to take like 1,000 hours to explore that gigantic map. But I, in my opinion, based on what I played so far, I feel like this one's going to be a little more popular, like to play after the fact than all the other Souls games. I feel like this one kind of has more of a replayability to it, just with how big the map is, and it's not linear or anything. You can just like go wherever, and there's going to be a lot of places you can explore.
Sure, that's a good point. Jesus, what about you? Are Souls games, just to reiterate, Souls games as a genre, is that a turn on, turn off at this point? And then also, how do you think it compares to like a Breath of the Wild in terms of replayability over the next 5 years, like Breath of the Wild has done?
Souls games turn on or turn off, absolutely turn off. But that's because I'm not playing this like a Souls game. I'm honestly playing this like an RPG. It just has Souls elements.
Gotcha.
So I mean I've been playing strictly offline, so I don't have to worry about invading. I don't play co-op. I'm just going around leveling up. So in the sense of feeling like a Souls game, this one does not feel like a Souls game to me. It is still a Souls-like game. I still get ragey when I die over and over, but at the same time, like I just gotta go level up more and I'll be good. How it compares it? First of all, I'm still shocked that people are still playing Breath of the Wild. I've seen every speed run of Breath of the Wild that people can do, and they're still figuring out how to do speed runs. IGN still releases videos like every month,
yeah.
like 25 more things you can do in Breath of the Wild. I'm like, dog, all you do is you don't even have to beat 4 bosses. You can go straight to Ganon if you want to.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you're still finding things to do in this game.
I have to say your run with the randomizer.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna talk about my Elden Ring run where the first 5 minutes of the game I found a chest that teleported me to a different part of the map where I was not supposed to be at, and then I almost rage quit, but I was like, no, let me just try to find a grace site to travel back to the first part of the map. But
no.
Continue about the randomizer.
Yeah, no, the randomizer with Breath of the Wild was very, very entertaining because of the chaos that ensued every time. Is like, oh, you can't eat food now. And you're like, oh, all you need to do is eat food, or you can't fly, or you can't use items, or like that was very entertaining, I have to say, because
which that technically is not over yet because I still have not beat Ganon yet, but I can go find the memories. But
you're gonna go full.
Yeah,
like,
I have to
full...
find the memories, but I'm not doing the memories on stream. Too excessive.
Awesome.
No, Christo, the reason I needed to find a grace, because when you go in that chest and it teleports you, it says you are trapped. Like literally on the screen says you are trapped. You cannot fast travel until you find a grace site. So I'm wandering around. It's in. That's all.
It's in the burnt.
Yeah, we'll talk about
okay, he knows.
Yeah.
He already said it's in the burnt room.
I was playing with somebody, and he said, "Don't open this chest." And then 2 minutes later, I opened the chest. That was awful.
So you're in an area where you're absolutely not supposed to be. You walk out. It's like poisonous. Granted, I found something that was like, you found poisonous armament because I was following like this invisible thing across the map. But then I was like, okay, I need to find a grace site. I can't stay in this area. But it was awful.
Yeah, it's
I wish I knew.
Eleanor.
I wish I understood anything that you guys were talking about.
See, I would say play this game for the memes. Don't play it to play it.
I feel like I feel like I have to play it just now to understand what just happened over the last 30 seconds.
Oh, you do. You trust me. If you get it, you will walk out. You will understand what people mean by the tree sentinel. That's all you. That's the first meme you will understand. Oh, or being maidenless. But tree sentinel's the first meme you will understand.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but it sounds hilarious, and I want to experience it.
Oh, it's
I want to be
awful. It's
in on
awful.
the joke. I always want to be in on the joke. Nettie, what about you? What are you? Souls, yay or nay, and versus Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I've never finished any Zelda games altogether,
Ooh.
and I know that last month or this month.
Wait,
it's
you're not
the
playing
whole,
Link to the Past?
She's so
okay. Let me
right.
tell you, I was playing a little bit of Link to the Past, but then I was watching Euphoria at the same time, and I had to shut it down. So it was getting really spicy in Euphoria, so I had to turn it off.
So I'm waiting till Euphoria season 2 ends, and then I'm binging it.
It ended. It
Did
ended.
it end?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
okay. I
ended,
knew it was
yeah.
coming close, and so that's what I was waiting for.
I have like 3 more episodes, but anyway, it got super spicy in Euphoria, so I had to stop. In terms of Souls-like games, like I guess I don't mind it. It kind of just really depends on the art style, because I've just never been a fan of the whole like, okay, you could do like 4 hits. What?
Sorry.
Is
Keys.
Keys just said Euphoria is a Souls-like.
Sorry.
Seriously, right? It is.
If you watch it, you will understand.
Soul, yeah.
You will understand.
Drains your entire
You
soul.
you will be like, this character's absolutely gonna die, and then they respawn at a grave site, and you're like,
But I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on the art style altogether. Because, like, I mean, like Neo, like I enjoy that art style. Same thing with Rolly, he likes that. But I've just never been a big fan of if I saw Dark Souls and I saw the trailer of it, I'd be like, oh, this isn't really my thing. I don't know. I guess if someone were to play with me, then I wouldn't mind it. But the fact that I play a lot of like really just short games that I could just beat in one sitting, I don't know if I have that patience to invest like 20 plus hours in games anymore, because I'm just always tired after work.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, maybe. I did see, this is completely random, but like I did see that Amazon had this controller subscription thing going on now. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
So basically, if you have like I guess a Amazon Fire HD thing, you could buy this controller on Amazon, and it kind of like links to your Fire HD, and it's like a subscription based
Luna.
gaming system. Yeah, Luna.
Yeah, Luna. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
if
the
I ever
same.
saw it on Luna.
It's the same. Well, but you still have to buy the game. It's
You still have to buy the game?
Yeah, it's Stadia. It's the same thing as Stadia. It's not like a Game Pass thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was really weird, because I got this offer where they're like, you could have like all these family fun games for like $4.99 a month, and I'm just like, I know where this is going, because I remember Netflix being $4.99 a month, and now it's $15.49 or some shit like
I
that.
pay $20 a month for Netflix now.
Yeah, because of the
40
enhancements,
if you
right?
if you
God.
want 4K, it's $20 a month now.
$20 a month now. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I've never played any Zelda games either, so I don't have anything to compare it to. I did play Blasphemous, which was a Metroidvania. It was my first Metroidvania game, but I enjoyed the art style, but playing it was kind of disheartening.
All right, okay. So there's so many people that have not played a Zelda game, including Breath of the Wild. I'm shocked, because I thought I felt like I was shunned for not ever playing a Zelda game, and so I played and beat Breath of the Wild in like a week, like 10 days, and like I didn't 100% it or anything. I just beat the main story, but you guys need to do that.
you only felt that way because you were talking to Sally.
Sally
She
was
was the
very
one
passionate.
shunning you.
Sally was definitely motivating the Breath of the Wild, but I feel like I can do that to you. And so that's the only reason I'm like, do you think that Breath of the Wild will have like, and also it's recent for me, and there's still people that are very passionate. Just like today is the 5th anniversary of Breath of the Wild releasing on the Nintendo Switch, and there's people still very 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 passionate about it. Do you think that's going to happen 5 years from today? I know it coincides with the Switch release, and so that's a little bit different. But do you think that 5 years from today, uh, uh, Elden Rings and be like, oh my god, we're all still playing Elden Ring type of thing that people are doing with Breath of the Wild? Like, the only reason I'm saying is because Elden Ring's getting like critical reviews on par with Breath of the Wild right now. Or do you think it's a like there's been this kind of like there hasn't been a lot of great games in the last like 4 years, and Elden Ring's like a little bit of a unique experience type of thing. That, and I don't know, anyone, like, we have to wrap it, but
I would say there's one
Brittany, I'm
big
not skipping you.
between there's one big difference between Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild, and that's the story.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild does not have a long story, so the things that people are still finding to do are just like random tidbits of information. Whereas in Elden Ring, it can last 5 years because no one absolutely knows how much is written into this game.
That's true.
And having George R.R. write his little ass off from Game of Thrones to this game, it could literally have 5 years worth of content in it already. So I think it'll have the same sort of longevity, just with more things to discover.
And
To add
Souls
on
games
that-
too. Oh, go ahead.
To add on that, like Breath of the Wild and Zelda in general has a more colorful and presentable story than something like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, where it's more gritty, dark fantasy,
Less approachable, for sure.
less approachable.
Yeah.
100% all the
Yeah.
way. It's strictly for people who are into that kind of stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
Whereas a game like Breath of the Wild, nothing wrong with. It's fun to play. The story's clear, whereas the story in Elden Ring, you probably got to actively search for the meaning behind some of the terms that are used. Like, Keys mentioned maidenless or tree sentinel or graces. And these are terms that people who are far from it may have no idea what it is. And it may take time for even a person who's put in 50 hours plus in a game to still understand some concepts behind it.
The other thing I know, Rev Arcade in the chat, yeah, it's so easy to hide stuff in game development because because of how vast these worlds are, like, and how easy it is just like, okay, if you do this and you do this and you do this, like not thinking, like, not logical things, like stuff like that can exist for decades, or on, if the game developers want to hide more and more things, and then like even like 10 years from now they'll probably leak out, if you do this and this and this, then you can skip through this part of the game or something. Like, people, like, developers have been doing that for years, and so like, he was talking about Halo 3, like finding new things still that developers put in that game. Brittany, what do you think about Souls games? Yes, yay or nay? And then with the longevity of Elden Ring specifically.
As far as if they appeal to me, you know what they say, $60 saved is $60 earned. I will acquire them secondhand if somebody gives them to me. Like, that's how I got Bloodborne. As for if they will last, if my uncle is anything to go off of for how long he was playing Demon Souls, that being the first Souls game, even though there were so many other Souls games out, he kept going back to that one. I think that there will definitely be people absolutely obsessed with Elden Ring, especially given that it is open world, which I think helps it appeal to more people. The George R. R. Martin thing probably helps it appeal to even more people because it attracts a whole new demographic of like people who are really into fantasy. So maybe if they weren't into like the kind of gothic style of Bloodborne or the, I don't know, there's Dark Souls is also like a different style. I don't know what it's called, but they may enjoy this one even more. And like everybody kind of said earlier, because it's an open world Souls game, there's definitely gonna be a lot of story and stuff to find, because in the other games, a lot of the story and a lot of the characters are very subtle, and people love those kind of games where there's kind of vague storytelling. People will dissect it to pieces, and it's something that Breath of the Wild kind of does, but I would say Dark Souls probably does it to even greater extent, just because Zelda still has to kind of appeal to children, so children still have to be able to find the story elements, whereas Dark Souls, I think all of them are rated M, so they can kind of hide and create really vast walls of text and have a lot more depth to the story, and people will still be dissecting that for plenty of years to come.
I think that's a great point. I honestly think that both games will probably be like picked apart for another 10 to 15, 20 years.
We're going to still see IGN articles for new things to do in Breath of the Wild in 10 years.
Breath of the Wild needs to end. They just need to bring out Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild needs to end.
All right, can we get I feel like this needs to be a running thing. Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out in 2022? Yay or nay?
No.
Well, I think Skriller Wolf would say it's not coming out in 2023 either, so.
Oh.
No. It's not coming out ever.
It's never coming out?
It's not coming out till the new console. It's going to be a hybrid launch, just like Breath of the Wild was.
Yeah, sounds about right.
The new console's not coming out.
Nintendo will charge you $60 for the beta, though, if you want to play that.
And I'm paying $60 for it.
Yeah or nay? I'm saying no. I think it's gonna be a 2023 at least.
Yeah, 2023 at the earliest.
I'm gonna say mid to late 2023.
Say March 2023. I think they're gonna try to hit that fiscal quarter March.
I mean, considering all the things on their 2022 calendar already, they decided to give us Switch Sports instead. So maybe 2023.
I'll take it.
The right decision, in my opinion. I've been waiting to play bowling again.
I'm still on. You guys all play what is it, the Clubhouse games? Underrated.
I get that.
It's a great game. I got it for $25. It's great.
That's a hidden gem right there.
Well worth $25. There's 51 fantastic games in that collection. It's very enjoyable. All right, we're out. I'm going to, just so we know, I'm going to play the Kirby game, the Kirby demo, the Kirby Forgotten Land demo after this. We're going to close out the podcast. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to play, maybe, I don't know if I'm going to beat the whole thing, but I'm going to play for a little bit. Thank you all for being here. Anyone in the stream, hang out or lurk or whatever you want to do. But then we'll raid out after I play some Kirby. Chris, Russ, Keezus, Nettie, Brittany, thank you all for being here. If you are listening or you're watching after the fact, everyone's links will be in the description. As always, follow them. They are all awesome creators. If you are live in the Twitch chat, we lost YouTube. Yeah, we lost YouTube. Sorry, YouTube, you're gone. But if you're in the Twitch chat, everyone's been chatting Thank you guys all for jumping in the chat. I like that we have like two different dialogues going simultaneously, and unless you're watching live, you don't witness the two separate live dialogues. Follow everyone on Twitch. Thank you all. Have a good night. Any last words?
Euphoria is the Souls-like.
Euphoria is the Souls-like.
If you want to be a part of the memes,
Rev Arcade, thank you for hanging out until 4:30 a.m. Holy hell, You were awesome. Thank you for all your input in the chat. Live on forever. They came over from Chris's raid. Thank you for the raid, by the way, Chris.
Yeah, great stuff, Rev. Thanks for staying out so late to chat with us.
You guys have a good night. Follow everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We're not doing a show next week. I don't know if I said that before, but we're not doing a show next week. We are doing A Link to the Past episode 2 weeks from today. It's St. Patrick's Day. I will follow my social media. We're going to do the nominations for the Video Game Book Club, and we'll announce the winners 2 weeks from today. So you can go vote on my website, and I'll put the links in a week from today. So thank you guys all. Have a good night. Happy soul hunting, or whatever it is that you do in Souls games.
We get runes now.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. I'm going to play
Bye.
Kirby after this.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Kirby.
Bye.
Bye.